No better way to start season 3 of Whiskey Quest than with JP Weiser's Triple Barrel Rye Whiskey. Hey, welcome back, Whiskey Questers, to season 3, episode 1. I'm pretty excited to see what 2020 brings to my palate. The sky's the limit, so today we're going to be starting off with this Canadian whiskey that I picked up last year, and when I first opened it, the neck pour on this wasn't all that great, but now that it's had some time to breathe, I can honestly say that the flavors have been developing in a more pleasant way. So let's get straight into the review with JP Weiser's Triple Barrel Rye Whiskey. But before we start, I just want to say happy 2020 to everybody. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Antonio, and in this channel I'm going to review whiskeys from all over the world. I like to add a touch of water to each one of them just to see if it changes. You'll never know unless you try it. So if you're curious about whiskey, you want to learn more about whiskey, or just in general you love whiskey, consider hitting that subscribe button with the bell notification so you can stick around for more videos. Now let's move on with the review. I'll be pouring this whiskey in my new Whiskey Quest glass that was given to me for Christmas by the one and only, the Whiskey Dude. Check that out. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but pretty awesome glass here, if you ask me. Maybe I'll make some for myself to, I don't know, give it to the Whiskey Questers. We'll see. But like a lot of other Canadian whiskeys, they don't have a minimum requirement to call it a rye whiskey. As a matter of fact, they don't even have mash bills. They actually distill each grain in separate batches. So like they'll have corn, rye, and wheat and so forth. They'll have them all distilled separately, aged separately, and then they blend them together. Now the confusing part about this one, I mean, different sources were pointing to it having a higher percentage of rye than it did corn. Others said it was more corn than rye, so I'm not entirely sure about that. What I am sure is that it's Canadian and it's triple barreled, and that's because they aged this in 3 different kinds of barrels. They use Ex-Bourbon Barrels for one, then they use Used Canadian Whisky Barrels, and then they also use Virgin Oak Barrels. So that's where it gets its name from. So let's just get straight into the review with the color right here. This one has a nice light amber kind of color. They might add coloring. I believe Canada allows that, but it's a really nice color. And on the nose, guys, right away, it has a really creamy, pleasant, nutty, kind of like a walnut kind of smell right up front. I do get some baking spices, maybe like a nutmeg. There's a very nice caramel note coming out also. Woody. But that walnut note it's something that I get in a lot of the other Canadian whiskeys that I've tried. This one actually reminds me a lot of the Pendleton Canadian whiskey that I reviewed a while back. So I'll link that up here if you guys want to check it out. It's been a while. Is it over here? Is it over here? You'll see it up here somewhere. Maybe some toffee also in there. It's just really, really nice, inviting nose. Very dessert-like. So let's move on to the palate. See what happens there. Cheers, everybody. Happy 2020. Yeah, like I said, maybe 3 to 4 pours out of this, and I left it alone for a good 3-4 months, and it improved a lot. Right away, you get that creamy, buttery mouthfeel that I was getting on the nose. You get hit with a burst of spices on the front, like a good black pepper. You get those chocolatey, toffee, caramel notes. Maybe even a little leathery. These are all like kind of like dark notes. It just makes me think of like darker colors, like brown or something like that, you know. Get those wood notes, some char coming out. Pretty excellent whiskey here. Now, I didn't mention the ABV on this one. I believe in Canada this is bottled at 40% ABV, but here in the US it's a good 45% ABV. So 90 proof on this one. This will only cost you $20. That's right, $20 for this right here. It's a really good value. And if you never tried Canadian whiskey, I'd say this is a pretty solid one for you to start with. I'm getting some vanilla too. Yeah, very nice whiskey. I'd say this one has a very nice medium to long kind of finish. And it just finishes with some nice barrel char, caramel, almost chocolatey, maybe like a dark chocolate because it is a little bit bitter at the end, but nonetheless, it's a fantastic finish. I'm really enjoying it now that it opened up a little bit. Definitely one hell of a whiskey and for a good value. So my final thoughts on the J.P. Wiser's triple barrel Canadian whiskey. With a drop of water on this one, guys, it really opened up a lot more caramel, a little bit more vanilla on the nose. Everything was still there, but those notes were popping out a little bit more than before. And then on the palate, it really gave you a nice burst of rye. And I mean, right after that, it also got overtaken by those like caramel toffee notes. So it stood up to the water, and I actually preferred this one with a drop of water. For $20, guys, I can't recommend this enough. It's a pretty good whiskey. Like I said, it's a really good introduction to Canadian whiskey, and you can enjoy it neat on the rocks, mixed, shoot it, doesn't really matter. For 20 bucks, why wouldn't you want to drink it many different ways? So I think I'm gonna give this one a good 85 out of 100. It's that good. I really enjoyed this one, especially now that it's opened up for a little bit. So if you thought this video was useful, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you share it with your friends. It goes a long way when you share it, when you give me those thumbs up. It'll really help out the channel. And again, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, should I tell you guys what to do? You guys know what to do. Hit that subscribe button with the bell notification. Stick around for more videos just like this. I'm gonna be trying to do a little bit more live videos this year, so we'll see how that goes. Having said that, guys, cheers everybody. Have an awesome weekend. I'll see you guys on episode 2 next week. Cheers. Peace.
Subscribe, Whiskey Questers.